Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can create your own strumming patterns using Musescore 4, and this is just one method. It's the method that I use for my students, but there are other methods too, so I might get to those as well. But we can clearly see that what we have here is 2 bars worth of a strumming pattern, and we can also see that I've got the rhythmic subdivisions noted under the strumming pattern, and we've got a chord on top, just to show a student what chord they could potentially use to practice the strumming pattern with. And you'll notice that some of the arrows are black and some are grayed out. I just gray out some of the arrows in order to show a student that they need to keep their hand moving consistently in a down and up movement like that. The grayed out arrows mean that they should move their hand up but not connect the strings at that point. So the actual strumming pattern is shown with the black arrows, the classic down, down, up, down, up pattern that pretty much everyone learns first when they're first learning to play the guitar. So I'm going to show you how to do this from start to finish, and the first thing you want to do is go over to File, click New, then select Solo and Guitar Tablature, and Next. Okay, now we just want to have 2 bars because we don't need any more than that. Okay, done. And I'm just going to make this a bit bigger so that we can see things a bit more clearly. Now I'm going to take this title off. You can title this whatever you'd like to, but I'm going to delete that for now. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is just space out these bars a little bit more. I'm going to select this first bar, and on my keyboard I'm going to press the right bracket key, and you'll see how that spaces them out. I'm just going to even them out now by selecting the second bar and again pressing the right bracket key. And that's about even. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is make this tab invisible here. So we select the word tab and then we just deselect this box here. Now we can see that it's been grayed out, and don't worry that it's still there. I'm going to show you how to get that off the page completely now. The next thing we want to do is make these stave lines disappear, and the way we're going to do that is right click on the stave, go to stave part properties, and then we just check this box that says invisible stave lines. Apply, OK, and now they've been made invisible. So we can see that even though they've been made invisible, they're still visible. If we want to take them off completely, you just click on this invisible icon here, and you can see that they've been taken off completely. I'm just going to keep that on for now. So the next thing I want to do is just edit these bar lines slightly. The first thing I want to do is put a bar line right at the beginning here. So I'm going to, in order to do that, come up to Format, Style, and then come down to where it says bar lines, and then just select bar line at start of single stave. Okay, and now you can see we have a bar line there. Next thing I'm going to do is make these bar lines a little thicker. So I'm going to go to Appearance. No, sorry, not Appearance. I'm going to go to Palettes, Bar Lines in the left sidebar, and then I'm just going to select where it says Heavy Bar Line here. You can see that it's made it nice and thick there. I'm going to do that with all of the bar lines, and that just delineates the bars nice and clearly there. Okay, so we have our invisible tab lines, and we also have an invisible tab there, and we're going to take that off the screen completely by again coming over to Properties, Invisible. Okay, so now we have 2 bars there ready to fill in the arrows. Alright, so then the next thing we need to do is just select this first bar, and then on your keyboard tap N for note, and we're going to just select 8th notes here because I want to do an 8th note strumming pattern template. And you can just put 8th notes on any line. Of course you can't see them. If you want to see them, you can just select again the visible, and I'm just going to fill the bar with 8th notes. Alright, hit N again on your keyboard to get out of editing mode. Okay, so the next thing to do then is just to select the bar and come up to where it says Tools, and we're going to select Toggle Rhythmic / Notation. Okay, so now we have slashes where the notes used to be, and in the left sidebar we're now going to select where it says stemless here. Okay, so we have 8 eighth note slashes to fill the bar. The next thing I like to do is add the rhythmic subdivisions underneath the bar so that people can see what beat they're on, or subdivision of the beat. And to do that, you have to anchor it to a rhythmic slash. So I'm going to just select this first one and come over to the left sidebar, palettes, and then come down to text and add stave text. Now you can see that it's added it to the top of the stave, so I want it to be on the bottom. All I need to do is come over to properties and then click on more over here and then select below. Now it's put it below the stave, as you can see. I'm going to make that a 1, and I'm going to just copy and paste this 1 over all of the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4, and then I'm going to change them after that. Okay, so let's change this to 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to put the eighth note subdivisions, the ands, so to speak. So I'm going to Control V again, turn that into an A. And then just copy and paste this again on all the second halves of the beats. Alright, so now we have our rhythmic subdivisions. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is insert all the arrows. So the first thing we're going to do is just select the first rhythmic slash, then come over to palettes, and then come down to where it says arpeggios and glissandi. And you can see we have an up arrow and a down arrow there, and they're actually intended to indicate an arpeggio, but we're just going to use it to create our strumming patterns. So we want to select a down arrow on the 1. So we can see that it doesn't center it, so what we have to do there is just move it to where you want it to be and then make it the right size. So I'm just going to, I actually like to just zoom in here so I can see more clearly what I'm doing and be a little bit more accurate with it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just with this arrow selected, copy and paste it above all the 1, the 2, and the 3, and the 4. Okay, don't worry that it makes it a little bit longer. You'll see when you copy and paste the next one. See how it's shortened that arrow now. I'm going to do one more over the 4. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is do the ands, and so I'm going to put up arrows on those. Again, we want to position it where we want it to be, and that's about right. And then I'm just going to resize it. And of course, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. When it's smaller, no one's going to see that it's not absolutely perfect. So again, copying and pasting, just by selecting the rhythmic slash that you want to paste it over. And last but not least, the and of 4. Okay, so that's going to stay a little bit longer for the time being. That's okay, don't worry about that, it'll fix itself. Alright, so now we have 1 bar of an 8th note strumming template. The next thing we want to do is just hide these rhythmic slashes. So what I'm going to do is right click on the first one and then come down to select, similar. Notice how it's now highlighted all of those rhythmic slashes. And again, I'm just going to come over to properties and I'm going to actually click on hide note head. Alright, now notice how it's taken all of those slashes off, and notice how that's been fixed now as well, this last arrow. Okay, so we have our rhythmic subdivisions, our bar lines, and our arrows. And the last thing I'm going to do is just copy and paste. So select the whole bar, Control C, Control V. And now we have 2 bars worth of 8th note strumming template. Okay, let's say now that what I want to do is just widen the space between this bar line and this arrow. I'm again going to just make the rhythmic slashes visible. Okay, I'm going to select that first one, and then I'm going to come over to where it says appearance in the left sidebar, and I'm going to increase the leading space. And that seems about right. I'm going to make everything invisible again and see if that looks okay. That looks about right. So now we have our spacing correct, we have our arrows, our rhythmic subdivisions. The last thing to do is to put a chord on top of the first beat. So again, we want to make the rhythmic slashes available because we need to anchor it to a rhythmic slash. Now notice here we have a problem because the word tab is right over the rhythmic slash, so we can't actually get to it. Not really a problem. All we need to do is click on that word tab, come to where it says appearance, and click on to back. Now let's put it right at the back and we can see the rhythmic slash again. So now I can select that rhythmic slash, come over to palettes, and come down to fretboard diagrams and add a fretboard diagram. And if I want to make that bigger, I can just come over to settings and let's say 180%. A nice big chord diagram there on top of our strumming template. Okay, so I'm going to make the things that should be invisible, invisible. So now we have our 8th note strumming template with a chord on top. So now you can use this to create any kind of 8th note strumming patterns that you want by just graying out the arrows that shouldn't be heard. Okay, so before we had our classic down, down, up, down, up rhythm. To get that right, all we have to do is gray out the arrows that we don't want. So what I'm going to do is select this first arrow, and with the control key push down on my keyboard, I'm going to select this one as well. So it's down, down, up, down, up. I'm going to select this one as well. And no, sorry, that's the wrong one. This one and this one. And now I'm going to come to where it says appearance, select color, and I'm just going to select the color silver. That works for me. It's nice and light, but not so light that you can't see it. So you can clearly see that there's an arrow there, but it's just been grayed out. If you want to make it a bit darker, then you can always do that. All right, so there you have your strumming pattern that you've now created out of your strumming template. And once you've downloaded the PDF, so for example, you could just come up to File, Export, and then export the PDF. And then that you would save that to wherever you want to save it. You would have your strumming pattern saved. Once it's saved as a PDF, then you just go Control Z on your keyboard, and then it returns the template back to the way it was, so that it's ready for the next time you want to create another template. Let's just say, for example, we want the 2 and the 4 for whatever reason to be grayed out. Okay, so then we just go through the same process. Appearance, color, silver. There we have our strumming pattern there. So you can see this works really well as a template, which you can create strumming patterns from. Control Z to get it back to your template again. So there you have it. That's how you create strumming patterns using Musescore 4. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.